All right, you guys, we're back at you with another video. On today, we're going to talk about the Oregon Ducks versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. What a great game. Coming into this game, the Ohio State Buckeyes was ranked 3 nationally, and the Oregon Ducks was ranked 12th overall. Definitely a classic game. Went down to the wire, and the Oregon Ducks ended up winning the game on a final score of 35-28. We're going to break down the stats and talk about some of the things that happened within the football game. All right, guys, so Anthony Brown, the quarterback of the Oregon Ducks, played a solid game for the Oregon Ducks on today. He was 17 out of 35 for 236 yards passing with 2 touchdowns in the air, and he also did not throw any interceptions this game. CJ Verdell was the man of the hour. He was the man of the game. Verdell ran wild against the Buckeyes defense on today. He ultimately had 20 carries for 161 yards with 2 touchdowns on the ground. Verdell also caught a pass, a touchdown pass as well. He had 3 receptions for 34 yards, and pretty much it was the Verdell show all day long. But in the second half, a little bit, the Ducks started going away from Verdell, which I think they should have probably kept running the football. I noticed with Ohio State right now, they're not able to stop the run, and that is evident because the first game they played against Minnesota, the running back rushed over 100 and some yards in that game, and then in this game, CJ Verdell runs wild in Ohio State and runs for 161 yards. So pretty much, man, the run game was doing their thing on today for the Oregon Ducks. But then you had with CJ Stroud, who played a sensational game, man. He was 35 out of 54, so he tossed the ball a lot this game. He threw the ball for 54 times. That's a lot for a quarterback. He ended up having 484 yards with 3 touchdowns, and he also threw 1 interception, which was a key play for the Oregon Ducks towards the end of the game, that the Oregon Ducks needed to be able to slow down the offense, because pretty much he was on fire with these receivers all day long. They was able to slow down the run game of Williams. He had 14 carries for 77 yards, and then Henderson had 12 carries for 54 yards, and then the receivers were on fire. Jackson Smith-Njigba had 7 receptions for 145 yards with 2 touchdowns, and then Chris Olave was eating them up as well, 12 receptions for 126 yards, and then Garrett Wilson had 8 receptions for 117 yards and 1 score in the air. Now pretty much, man, it came down to the wire. This was a classic game. Didn't know these guys were going back and forth, and then eventually you got to come up with the key stops, and the Oregon Ducks ended up coming up with that interception. And then McKinley gets the interception, who McKinley pretty much was all over the field today, making plays, him and Sewell, and in that Oregon's defense. But the thing with the Oregon's defense is that they're going to have to tighten up with those safeties and those corners, man. If you're making it to a national title game and you go against Alabama, you better make sure that those guys are on point, because Alabama is going to throw the ball on you a million times, and you better be able to keep up with those receivers, because they're pretty fast, pretty speedy, and you got to have a defense, man, going against teams like Ohio State and Alabama. Those guys have great receivers, and you have to be able to match that intensity with your defense. So definitely, man, the defense of the Oregon Ducks need to get better when it comes to being able to stop the pass. The run was on point today, being able to slow them down, the running backs, because they ran wild against Minnesota, but they were not able to do it against the Ducks on today. So the Ohio State had 3 receivers going over 100 yards, which was pretty good for Ohio State to be able to do that. That just shows you that they're really good with passing the football, and they're one of the elite teams when it comes to passing the football in college football. So man, I enjoyed everything about the game on today. I thought it was a classic. I thought that Oregon would probably end up losing the game towards the end, but they fought hard, and that's what it's all about, man. Fighting hard all the way to the end and playing the game to the last seconds. They end up getting a sack, and they end up winning the football game on today. And I know that the fans in Eugene, Oregon is going crazy, because they have never been able to beat Ohio State. Finally, a Pac-10 team ends up beating a big 10 team. That doesn't happen that often, man. And congratulations to the Oregon Ducks for getting the victory against Ohio State Buckeyes in Ohio. All right, you guys, I'm out of here. I'll be back to you soon with another video. Peace.